Cosmic Outlaw, The Legend of Roan Hale. In a galaxy ruled by unbreakable codes and cold machines, one man discovered the most dangerous algorithm of all, defiance. Part 8. Arrows in the Mist. Dawn bled pale gold through the canopy of the Sherwood Expanse, mist curling low around ancient trunks like breath from sleeping giants. The air hung thick with the damp, resinous scent of heartwood sap and wet moss, every leaf heavy with dew that caught the first light in shimmering prisms. Roan Hale moved silent as a shadow at the head of his band, boots sinking softly into centuries of fallen needles. The familiar weight of his recurved bow across his back and the faint creak of leather quiver at his hip, the only sounds betraying his passage. Tonight, as prize rolled along the elevated mag-lev supply line that cut through the forest like a silver scar. 3 armored hover trucks carrying Syndicate tax credits, medical supplies bound for core world elites, and most tempting a sealed crate of quantum stabilizers desperately needed by the drought-stricken frontier settlements. Kane's greed had priced them out of reach. Roan intended to correct that imbalance. He raised a gloved fist. The column halted instantly. Little John, towering, bearded, with arms thick as branch trunks, crouched beside him, breath fogging in the chill. Tracks fresh, patrols running light tonight, only 8 guards, 2 drones topside. Tuck round and merry as ever, adjusted the strings on his compact crossbow with a soft chuckle that rumbled warm in his chest. Light for them, heavy for us. Good odds. From the mist behind them stepped new faces, fresh blood sworn to the cause only days prior. Will Scarlet leaned quick, with flame-red hair tied back in a devilish grin that promised Trouble World a pair of monomolecular short swords, their edges catching dawn light in lethal whispers. He'd been a spire duelist once, disgraced after refusing to throw a fixed match for one of Kane's noble cronies. "I've been dreaming of cutting Syndicate purse strings," he murmured, voice smooth as oiled steel. "Let's make it poetry." Beside him loomed Alan Adale, tall and wiry, fingers dancing over the controls of a small holographic lute that doubled as a signal jammer. Former bard for the Lockhaven courts, he deflared after his satirical songs about Kane's noble girth earned him a bounty. His eyes sparkled with mischief. "I'll keep the drones blind and singing my tune instead of theirs. After I'll compose a ballad, the sheriff's empty wagons shall be a crowd favorite in the taverns." Roan allowed himself a quiet smile, the scar on his cheek pulling tight. "Welcome to the Greenwood, lads. Rules are simple. We take from those who hoard, give to those who starve. No killing unless Corner Kane wants martyrs. We give him mysteries instead." They fanned out through the mist like wolves. Alan's fingers danced. Soft chords rippled out, invisible waves scrambling drone sensors into harmless static. The 2 patrol drones overhead drifted late, their red scanning beams flickering confused patterns before going dark. Will and Little John scaled opposite sides of the mag-lev embankment with grapnel lines that whispered through the air, vanishing into the foliage above. Tuck and Roan took the ground approach, bows drawn. The convoy hummed into view, sleek black hover trucks gliding a meter above the track, repulsor fields stirring the mist into lazy spirals. Guards in Syndicate gray armor patrolled the catwalks atop each vehicle. Energy rifles slung but inactive, civilian possession was forbidden, and even Gage knew active scans would summon orbital oversight. Roan's arrow flew, first a blunt training head wrapped in sharp netting. It struck the lead guard's chest plate with a dull thunk, discharging a crackling web that dropped him twitching but unharmed. Before the others could react, Tuck's heavier bolt took a second in the shoulder, pinning him painlessly to the railing. Will dropped from above like a crimson streak, blades flashing in precise arcs that severed rifle power cells without drawing blood. "Evening, gentlemen," he quipped as 2 guards spun toward him, eyes wide. "Your credits are now property of the needy. Resistance is discouraged." Little John landed with a ground-shaking thud on the rear truck, simply grabbing 2 guards by their armor collars and knocking their helmets together with a metallic clong. They slumped, groaning. In moments the convoy halted, guards bound wrist to ankle with vine rope, gagged with their own scarves, lined up neatly on the trackside like forgotten parcels. Alive, humiliated, and most importantly about to carry tailies back to Kane, Roan vaulted onto the middle truck, prying open the sealed crate. Inside, quantum stabilizers glimpsed sleek silver cylinders humming faintly, enough to power irrigation pumps for 3 frontier valleys through the dry season. He lifted one, feeling its faint vibration through his gloves, warm satisfaction blooming in his chest. Alan recorded the scene on a discreet holo capture, narrating in a theatrical whisper, and so the merry men strike against silent arrows, laughing blades, and not a drop of blood to summon the drones. "Tell Sheriff Kane his taxes have been redistributed." Will leaned against a truck, wiping his blades with theatrical flair. "Fat man's going to burst a vein when he hears. Probably blame it on indigestion from all those imported delicacies." Tuck laughed, already loading medical crates onto their hidden repulsor sleds. "Let him rage. Every empty convoy is another story in the taverns, another family fed, another reason folk look to the Greenwood instead of the Spire." Roan stood atop the lead truck, mist swirling around his boots, dawn light catching the determination in his storm-gray eyes. He addressed the bound guards directly, voice calm but carrying like a bowshot through silence. "Take this message back to your master. Roan Hale and his merry men are playing nice. You're breathing, walking away with nothing worse than bruised pride. Keep squeezing the people for taxes they can't pay. Keep serving a sheriff who grows fat while children starve. And next time the messages go silent. Empty patrols. No bodies. Just questions Kane can't answer." He leaped down lightly, landing beside Little John. "Move out." They melted into the forest as swiftly as they'd appeared, sleds gliding soundless over moss and root, leaving only bound guards, emptied trucks, and the faint, lingering scent of pine and freedom in the mist. By midday, word would spread through frontier settlement, supplies arriving anonymously, stabilizers powering wells that had run dry, medicine reaching clinics Kane had priced beyond reach. Ballads would begin in taverns that night, Alan's voice carrying the tune. And high in Lockhaven Spire, Sheriff Kane would receive another report of loss, his fury mounting like thunderheads, distraction deepening, all while the thread between outlaw and lady pulled tighter, unseen but unbreakable, drawing the hour of reckoning ever closer.